Thanks everyone, and morning everybody. It's great to be here today to talk to you specifically about how we can bring communities together, activate communities through group exercise. But what do we mean by group exercise? Just to clarify before I speak for we're talking about fitness classes, we're talking about yoga classes, spinning classes, aerobics, Zumba, boxercise, circuit training. I could go on, there are lots and lots. So that's what we're talking about in terms of group exercise. So just so I get a feel of the audience out there, bearing in mind those examples, and there may be others, just a quick show of hands. How many people have participated in some kind of group exercise within the last month? Look at that, fantastic. And in the last week? Brilliant, okay, great stuff. So you can see it is a big market, group exercise, it's a growing market. And EMD UK, we're very proud to be the national governing body for group exercise. So we're slightly different to your traditional national governing bodies. We don't govern a particular sport, but we try and look after the whole of group exercise in terms of supporting organisations, supporting instructors. We, as a national governing body, are part funded by Sport England, and we also have a number of our own projects, programmes and activities that we run alongside that. And we have a mission, so at the heart of everything that we're trying to do, we're trying to drive growth in group exercise, specifically by supporting organisations and instructors to deliver excellence. So any time you go into your group exercise class, you have an excellent experience. And we're very much aware that that doesn't happen all the time. It doesn't happen enough of the time. And that's what we're about, that's what we're trying to achieve. So, as part of this work, we've launched our Voice of Group Exercise campaign. And in terms of the campaign, what is it? It's a long-term promotional and awareness-raising campaign. We're trying to get more people to understand group exercise, and most importantly, more people to understand the value it can bring. We've got 4 key themes that are underpinning this campaign, and 4 key areas that we're working on. So the first one is around promoting the value of group exercise across all markets and supporting specifically the fitness operators, leisure centres, to make positive changes in terms of group exercise and their offering. We're going to be championing for better recognition for quality instructors. So key to your group exercise experience is that person standing at the front delivering your group exercise experience, and we're going to be championing for better recognition for the really good ones that are out there. On the flip side of that, we're going to be challenging those instructors, challenging them to demand better recognition by being excellent every time, by being professional. And we're going to be supporting those instructors to achieve this excellence via qualifications, CPD, business tools, career advice, and general support. So, to deliver on that first theme, so the value of group exercise, we're very excited. Next week, we're going to be launching our first ever, we're going to be publishing our first ever white paper. So Sweating Your Assets, the value of group exercise, will be launched next week. I'm sure you all want a copy. You'll be able to download that from our website, and I'll give you the links at the end. And this is a key part. So why are we doing it? Why is the value important? Well, we really need to make some noise, we need to bang the drum, we need to shine the spotlight on group exercise and the value it brings to businesses, to communities, and to us as individuals, be that as participants or instructors running their own businesses. And we'll also be issuing a parallel challenge to the sector and the workforce in particular to deliver those excellent experiences every time and demand recognition as a profession to be taken seriously. I'm sure some of you remember, not so long ago, a recent Specsavers advert, and you probably giggled as much as I did, when the Zumba instructor goes into the community centre, she's rushing along, she's a bit late, she's got her stereo, she hasn't got her glasses on, she goes into the wrong room and she starts delivering her Zumba class to the elderly bingo participants instead of her Zumba class. And although that is an amusing example, unfortunately, in some cases it's the reality. Mind-Body recently did a survey, and they surveyed their participants, and their participants said that actually they rated the personality of their instructor higher than their qualifications. So this is a worrying trend, and this is something that we need to address, because fitness instructors, group exercise instructors, they literally take your health and well-being in their hands during that class. They're responsible for your health and safety. They are highly qualified professionals and they need to be seen and recognised like that. So that's part of the work that we're doing, is just around raising the value in terms of instructors and what they can bring. So what is the value of group exercise? I could talk to you all morning about this, everyone would not be happy. So I'm just going to do a little snapshot of some of the key headlines of really what the value is, the intrinsic value behind group exercise in a number of different areas. So firstly, it gets our communities active. 4.86 million people do group exercise once a week, and we can see we've got quite a few of them here today. 11.5 million people do some kind of group exercise every month. And 36% of the adult population have tried some kind of group exercise within the last year. So it's a big sector, it's a vibrant sector, and it's getting our communities active. It's getting and keeping our communities healthy. 29% of those regular participants were previously inactive, they were doing nothing. And over half of them were doing nothing for more than 5 years. To get them into activity, to get them moving, they were going to choose group exercise. And there's a number of reasons behind that I'm going to touch on later on. From a health point of view, there are lots of physical health benefits, lots of mental health benefits, and numerous examples of studies that I can quote to you. One particular one recently, in terms of mental health, showed that exercising in a group was actually better for you in terms of reducing your stress. It reduced stress on average by 26% and was much higher, much better at reducing stress than exercising on your own. So it's also good for business. It's a growing sector, as I mentioned. It's a vibrant sector. It's a commercial sector. There's a lot of money that can be made, income, revenue that can be generated through group exercise activities. We can see that it's a growing sector in terms of the boutique fitness market. So some of the brands you might know of in terms of Barry's Bootcamp or Soul Cycle, some of those real niche studios. That market is growing. It's growing rapidly, showing 70% growth. Group training, so small group training and exercising in a group, was noted by the American College of Sports Medicine last year as being the second highest global fitness trend. People are doing it. It was second only to wearable tech in terms of what's going on out there in the fitness world. So it really is growing. It's also, in terms of being good for business, it's more profitable. So anybody out there in terms of developing space, looking at a leisure centre facility, there's research out there that proves that a group exercise studio can make you more money in cardio or your weights area in the gym. And particularly if that is a bigger studio, then it can make you even more money. So there are a lot of benefits in terms of group exercise. As I said, it can show lots of different areas of value to all different areas of the community. And in terms of that growth, it's really interesting in terms of the growth of group exercise. We've seen, since 2016, a growth of 1 million participants. So back in 2016, when we did our national survey with YouGov, 3.86 million people were doing it once a week. And now, as I mentioned, that's 4.86. So a growth of 1 million weekly participants. And interestingly, from what we've heard this morning, that growth is particularly in the north of England. So apologies for this slide, it had a small meltdown when it had to cross the Watford Gap. So something's gone wrong here, some of the numbers aren't quite what they should be. But if you look where it says north and there's a big green bar, okay, that's basically showing that growth of 1 million participants, most of it, it is a testament to what's going on, all the different projects and programs that are going on, the growth that's happening, the growth that we're seeing is heavily weighted towards the north. So one reason why we're obviously delighted to be here and happy to talk to anybody about activities that you've got going on in terms of group exercise and in terms of this area. So what draws so many people to do group exercise? What is it about it that attracts so many people? Well, as human beings, we're motivated by lots of different things, and we generally have emotional motivators and more rational motivators. So on the rational side, we did some focus groups with YouGov, and on the rational side, we could see that things like knowing that it's good for our health would push us towards exercising, particularly doing group exercise. Or if we had a personal goal such as weight loss, just wanting to feel better, those would be the rational motivators that might make us start doing it. But it's the emotional motivators where group exercise comes into its own, and it's where it demonstrates to us why it is attractive for people who are perhaps starting out for the first time and who don't necessarily want a competitive or perceive to be a competitive situation. So it's fun, it's social. They're one of the key reasons why people come and keep and stay doing group exercise. It's a social activity, they've got friends, they generate friendships, they generate, in some cases, they're almost tribal following with their instructor, and they'll go anywhere that instructor goes. The music is also a real attraction, the fact that you can go along, you can enjoy music as well. And we saw from Hayley's example of the movement, what were they doing? And that was group exercise. If you ask me, they had music there and everybody was moving together. Element that does really drive people to it. And these are the things that you can use. So in your local projects and programs, when you're trying to activate people, it's those messages that you can really bring to the fore to help people to come into your activity sessions, because it does appeal to a lot of different people. So it's now easier than ever, really, to find classes, to find activities that are going on. Why is it in particular that activating communities is happening through these kind of activities? Well, we, as EMD UK, we also own ClassFinder, and ClassFinder is it's an online search engine. If you think about Expedia, but think about it in terms of group fitness, and you can basically use it to find your local exercise classes. One of the USPs of GroupX is that it is accessible through multiple hyper-local venues. If you think about your local community, you've most likely got either church hall, village hall, community hall, you've possibly got a leisure centre down the road, you've possibly got a private gym within a realistic distance, you might have a dual-use school or college facility, a dance studio, and also you see more and more activity outside as well. So there are multiple locations where this activity can happen. Use ClassFinder. ClassFinder will identify all of those different locations and show you just how close your nearest group exercise class could be. So you might have heard, if you're following in some of the trade press this week, the Active Digital campaign. So I was very delighted to be with the Minister of Sport and the Chief Executive of Sport England on Tuesday as we launched the Active Digital campaign. And Active Digital is all about making it easier for people to access opportunities digitally, so to find their activities. We all know it's very easy to book a hotel room, book a holiday, dare I say it, order a pizza. All of those things are much easier than actually finding an activity session. And ClassFinder is the work that we're doing to try and shift the dial on that, try and make it a lot easier for people to find their activities. So the unique thing about ClassFinder, and the new search is going to be going live within the next couple of weeks, it's a fully open data search. So it's not just our classes that are on there. Any other organisation out there who's had the foresight to open their activity data, that will all get fed through. So we're talking thousands and thousands of classes. So if you were to go online and just type in your local postcode, whatever it was you were looking for, all of the classes from all of those different activity providers would be signposted through to you. So in terms of just looking locally, so just for the purposes today, just popped in Manchester to a search, and at the moment, and this is before the search goes open, it's drawing in 474 classes for this local area. There will be a lot more that aren't on there, so our call to action for you, if you are running any activities, is get your classes on there, because there's a massive audience for ClassFinder. It links directly to the This Girl Can campaign, to the Moving Medicine campaign, and BBC Get Inspired, as well as a lot of other local search engines. So it really is able to advertise and promote your activities. So again, do get in touch with us if you want any more information about that, or you can just go directly onto ClassFinder and put your information there. As I said, the new search is launching within the next couple of weeks, but you can still go on now and put your classes on there. So in terms of bringing this to a close with a very local example of really activating a community and bringing a community together through group exercise, I'm going to give you an example of a program we have called Dance the Distance. So Dance the Distance is our version of Race for Life, basically. We have developed a class, a group exercise class with a dance theme that is approximately the equivalent in steps and calories to covering 5 kilometres. And the idea is that people sign up to the event, as you would do any kind of sponsored activity. They sign up to the event, they get sponsored, they raise money, they make donations, they raise money for charity.